Hey! How y'all doing today? The rain is gone and it is sunny again, and I have a question. So, this is a reseller question, but my question goes out to people who sell and buy online, and it comes from something that I was listening to yesterday while I was working. I was listening to a podcast by Gary Vee or Vee Vanerchuk. I don't know if y'all listen to him. If you do, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, he's got a lot of good information. In all honesty, he repeats the same thing over and over and over again, but once in a while there's something new thrown in as time changes, and that's why I keep listening to him. But his core principles don't change. But he said something in one of the podcasts I was listening to about what he called the thank you economy. And the gist of it is, when somebody purchases something from you, you give them something as a token, thank you for using your business, okay? And so as a reseller, I would like to know, both as a seller and a purchaser, so whatever you are, or if you're both, because I'm both, right? I buy and I sell. How do you feel about this? So, for instance, Poshmark is very big on sending gifts. Not everybody does it, but when I was first learning about Poshmark, it was recommended that you include a gift in it, in your purchase, something small, okay? And I've played around with it, I'll just put it that way, a little bit. I don't always do it, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, I've been studying over the years about reselling and listening to other people who I feel have more information, more knowledge than I do. And it seems to me, from what I've seen, without counting numbers, most people who sell feel, they say as a buyer, okay, but I'm in groups for people who sell, okay, that they feel like it's just wasteful, and most of the time the thing goes in the trash, okay? But I've also heard things like you really shouldn't sell, or you shouldn't give like chocolates or candies, things like that, especially with clothing, because they melt, you know, if the weather's hot. So yes, my question is, how do you feel when you receive a package that has a small token gift in it? Do you like it or do you not? And then I also kind of want to know, well, I actually also do want to know, what type of things do you consider valuable gifts? So, of course, it would have to be something inexpensive, you know, that the seller could purchase in bulk. For instance, you know, like a refrigerator magnet with their business information on it. Is that valuable to you or not? What about a special coupon code for return buyers? Do you consider that a gift even? I don't know. I mean, would you go back to somebody who offered you a code to come back if you liked, you know, one thing? Maybe you'll like another thing that they have in their store. I'm really interested to find out more broadly than the group of people that, excuse me, I have been associating with, what the, you know, at least the people that I come in contact with. What are your real thoughts on receiving gifts when you purchase something? And I, you know, one time, I can't remember what I bought. I don't remember what it was that I bought. It was something, I was actually off of Amazon, and it had a coupon. It was very nice, nicely printed, like on a glossy card, but it was an invitation for a discount on a wine I guess it was something you could get a membership, but you got like a free trial and you got so many bottles of wine. And I did try that, and it's really the only time that I've ever done something like that. So, you know, thinking about my own habits, it might depend on what I receive. If it's, you know, it just might depend on what I receive. I've also seen other sellers who, they include thank you cards, you know, just a thank you. I know that with eBay, if you have a store, well, I guess you can purchase them too, but with a store membership, you get, a store subscription, you get a monthly allowance for supplies through the eBay store. And thank you cards is one of the things that they offer. They are very nicely printed, but they're also generic. So, and they're glossy as well. And it's very difficult to print your personal information on them because of the, you know, because they're glossy. You know, so if you wanted to handwrite or stamp your store information on there, or put some information on there about a coupon code for a return purchase, you know, those kind of things, that card is difficult to use. And it's glossy on both sides, if I remember correctly. But it is a generic thing, and it does show appreciation for somebody purchasing from you. So, you know, it's something. I'm not going to discount it, you know, because it didn't serve my purpose 100%. But I've also had packages that I've received that just had something that said thank you. That was just, you know, was obviously just something that they printed off, either off of their computer, or maybe went to Staples or Office Depot and had printed up in bulk, and then they just include them, you know, it was on regular copy paper. I've never personally had anybody send me anything that said, you know, you get this amount of money off if you purchase from us again. But I have had, and I have feelings about this too, so maybe your comments on this subject as well would be appreciated. You know, if you want to tell me how you feel about it. I'm just asking questions today. When somebody sends you a little, you know, piece of paper like that, thank you for your purchase, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a 5-star rating, you know, that kind of thing. I'm on the fence about this because in my experience, not just ratings, but other things, like when I was working as a hairdresser, a lot of people didn't know that you should tip your hairdresser, you know. And I was talking to a mom. She was actually a mom in the community I lived in, and our kids were taking dance class together, so we were outside hanging out together while the kids were in their class. And I didn't tell her, you know, that you should tip. I was talking about the business and said something about however the tips affected me, and she's like, you tip? I mean, she was so embarrassed because she was my customer, and she said, I didn't know you were supposed to tip. I said, don't worry about it, you know, because I didn't say it to her for that reason, you know, to get a tip out of her every time she comes in or brings her kids in. I just was, it was in conversation, you know. But it made me realize that a lot of people don't understand that businesses need certain things from their customers besides their purchase. And obviously the purchase is the most important thing, or their patronage. But it does help when you give a... Okay. I got a siren here. Okay. It does help when you give a good review or some kind of feedback. This is so odd. I'm here in front of the fire department and there's debris in the road. An ambulance just pulled out. I'm wondering if somebody had an accident right here in front of the fire station. Things that happen when you drive. And the poor guy's broom head keeps falling off. He's trying to sweep it up. Okay, anyway, you know, so back to topic. How do you feel, especially as a buyer? Is it tacky to ask for a review or feedback in your thank you message? I mean, sometimes I think it is, personally, but then on other times I really wish I had more. And I'm getting both sides from, you know, people that, so far, I'm getting feedback from two different sides. So some people feel the way that I do, that it's tacky, that you shouldn't have to ask, you know, that it's kind of, you know, it's like, I don't know, just tacky, unprofessional. But then other times, just like I said in the example, people don't think of it. So when you ask them to give you a review, you have, you know, you're reminding them. Or, you know, in the case of like YouTube, and if you've been watching me for any period of time, you know, there are some times when I say, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, you know, da-da-da-da-da, all the things that you hear on a lot of YouTube videos. But then sometimes I think it's just, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. Why are you asking? And I mean, I talk in kind of a matter-of-fact way. I don't have the charisma that some other people do. So maybe it's just the way that it comes across as an individual asking for it. But and I am being very sincere though today, in whatever opinions that you have, I'm asking, you know, what are your thoughts on these things, as far as gifts and as far as asking for feedback? How do you feel about it, particularly as a customer? More so, I think that's more important today than what a seller thinks, because ultimately it comes down to, what do customers think? You know, that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what I think, it's what the customer thinks. I mean, I could think I have the greatest product in the world or service, and if the customers don't like it, they don't like it, and that's just the way it is, you know. So you know, that's mostly where the weight on the answer to this question is. It's really the weight of the customer is heavier than the weight of a seller or a business owner. But I don't want to totally discount it, because I think that some people have found more success when they've started doing something a little bit different. And so, you know, I'm not disregarding the sellers or business owners who offer a little bit extra. And, you know, this also, I mean, I'm talking mostly about reselling, but, you know, I have a cleaning business, and we're coming up on the holiday times, and in some of the cleaning groups that I listen to, people are starting to ask now, what are you giving your customers for Christmas gifts, you know? And so I've also had businesses in the past. A lot of it was with hairdressing. Of course, the customers were very generous to me, very, very generous to me when I was a hairdresser. But you know, at various times throughout my hairdressing career, depending on where I worked, we also gave our customers gifts, and they were small things, and most typically they were things that relate to the business. Okay, so it would be a hair product of some sort, you know, that kind of thing, which makes sense. Okay, and so, you know, maybe that's another question I should ask if you've managed to listen to this video this long, is what type of business do you have, and what type of gifts do you give that are relatable to your business? Because obviously you want people to think about your business when they see this thing, aside from something that maybe is branded with your business. So, you know, like a hair product, oh yeah, Jenny was a great hairdresser and she gave me this shampoo and I really like it, you know, so I'll go back to her and maybe I'll buy the shampoo next time. You know, that's the thought process behind it, not just the appreciation, but that kind of thing. So anyway, I think I've babbled on enough about it. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to hit the like button. I'm not going to ask you to comment. Well, I am asking you to comment, okay? I am, because I need your feedback so that I can just compile some information. And do know that it is greatly appreciated, everybody's opinion. You don't have a right or a wrong feeling on this. It really is helpful, and I'm doing this broadly because I think that the groups that I'm getting my information from are kind of one-sided, to be honest with you. So thanks again, and everybody have a great day. Happy Friday. Well, it's Friday for me. I'm not sure what day you're going to see this, but enjoy your weekend, enjoy the fall weather, and enjoy the upcoming holidays. Bye-bye.